Hi Fam, welcome to yet another video. So in this video I really wanted to talk about my cruise. I know persons have lots of questions and I'll just talk about a few of the stuff that I think should answer some of your questions. So if you're interested in watching this video, continue watching, like, share, comment and subscribe. So I've written down a few stuff, so if you see me looking down, that's what I'm looking at. I wanted to get through this real quickly, so let's get right into the video. So firstly, I want to say that I was supposed to do this cruise from April. However, I realized I was getting a longer break from work, and so I decided to push it back to May. And so in April I was supposed to do like a weekend cruise, so Friday to Monday, but in May I decided to change it, and then I did Monday to Friday. So let's get into the video. So initially, as I mentioned, I was going to do a weekend cruise, right? So I had a budget and stuff working with, and I was supposed to go with someone else. However, when the plans changed, that person wasn't able to come anymore, and so all of those things had to, I had to wheel and come again with the plan, but we'll get into it. So first, let's talk about the embarkation process. It was my first time cruising. I was going solo, so everything to me was new. Before you get to the terminal, you have to check in using the Royal Caribbean app, right? I did that. However, I realized I didn't get the clearance, but I wasn't thinking too much about it, because when I initially checked in, I put that I had a regular headache, the health and wellness question that you have to do the day before. So when I did it the 14th, I think I did it, I don't remember the dates, but when I did it the day before my cruise, it wasn't working. So I said, okay, I went to the terminal, tried to check in. They said that, I have to do a COVID test again because I put out headaches, and it was like a red flag for going on the cruise. So I had to get out of the check-in line, go back downstairs, get a COVID test done, and wait until I got clearance before I could board the cruise, which I eventually did. So that was a little bit tedious. However, after you get clearance downstairs, you don't have to go back upstairs, so they basically checked you in from down there, so I don't have to join back all the long lines and stuff like that. So that was really good, and then I eventually got to board, do my muster drill, and then do whatever I wanted on the ship. So yeah. So something that not a lot of persons talk about on a cruise is the possibility of getting seasick, which totally happened to me, which is unfortunate, but things happen. So when I was getting prepared for my cruise, I watched a lot of videos, I read a lot of questions, and so I brought this on board with me, which is what I took when I got sick. It's a motion sickness relief. This wasn't actually the one I wanted, but yeah, I worked with this, and I'm not sure if it helped, but if you're going on a cruise, definitely get some motion sickness or some pill too, because it's bound to happen. I was fine the first couple of days, but you see that day when we were at sea, oh my god, I was walking, I felt dizzy, felt like I was turning over. Even when I sat down, I still felt, I felt so awful. But I survived. So if you're going on the cruise, ensure that you have some motion sickness pill or something that can help you with the seasickness. So definitely do that. I must say, on Royal Caribbean, there's a lot of amenities on board. When I say a lot of amenities, I'm not even exaggerating. There is so much to do. I could not do it in the 4 nights and 5 days. It was just too much stuff to do. Every night you have a show. There is always something to do. You'll not be bored. If you're bored, that's your fault, but there's a lot of stuff on board to do, from shows, games. They have a lot of stuff for people. It's like all inclusive for children. There's something, you have karaoke, you have nightly shows, productions, ice skating. If you're a person who are into party, there's a club. There's so much, and if you're an adult and you know you have your kids with you and you know you want to have some alone time, you can always take them to Adventure Ocean. I think in the night there's a cost that's associated with it, but during the day it's completely free. So you guys can definitely check that out. There is so much to do. A lot of pools on board. You have rock climbing, surfing, what do you call it? The flow rider. Guys, so much to do. So you should definitely check it out. Also, something that I really admired about the Royal Caribbean staff, and like I felt this from like my very first day. So when I went on board, my stateroom attendant, he's like, he immediately, you know, got my name. So every time I was walking to the room, he's like, oh, hi Samoa, how are you doing? And I felt really nice to know that, you know, that they know your name and they know all these things about you. It made me feel really, really good. So that's extra perks for me. And overall the staff are really friendly. Most of the persons in the main dining and like Windjammer, they're really nice. And I met a lady, she's from Jamaica, where I'm from, and so we kind of connect, and she was super nice to us. She was nice to everybody, you know, but you know, when you meet your own, it's like, you just feel different. And you'll probably see her in one of the vlogs, I'm not sure which one, but big up Grace, I think her name is Grayson. But yeah, most of the staff are really, really nice, so I give that to them. Excellent customer service, I admire that. Okay guys, so this is going to be like a mini story time. So the day when I went to Nassau, I went and I met up with my family. Well, I met with my cousins, as you guys can see in the vlog from Nassau, right? Oh my god, we were in Nassau from like about 8 to 6 p.m. However, they told us that we should get on board like at 5:30 p.m. Said okay, no problem. So I went into Nassau. I met with my cousin. We were up and down. She was showing me all over. I saw my cousins. It was good. Like, I wish I could go back and, you know, like spend more time. There's so much to do and it was so short. But yeah, so we were out there and, you know, we got all over the day until, okay, time to go back now. So okay, all day never get anything to eat, and my cousin was like, oh, you can't come to Nassau, you don't try out these things and whatever. And so we stopped, we got food. I got the conch salad, and then we went to fish fry to have fish, and you know, to have the Bahama mama and all of these things. Guys, time was running, and then it started raining. You know when it rains anywhere, the traffic is always awful. So the traffic was really bad, and I'm like, okay, went to the place to eat. I'm like, how long will it take? And they say, oh, it's just fry, anything fry won't take long. So we got the food, and then I'm like, oh, you know, I don't want to miss the ship. Can I get like a to-go box or whatever? So I couldn't eat off all the food at the time, so I took a box to go. Anyways, I eventually got back to the port, and I was like, oh my god, it's almost 5:30. And when I looked at the watch, it was like 5:25, and to walk from where they let you off to the port to get to the ship, it was a good distance. And I'm like, I don't think I'm going to make it in time. So one of the persons, they were there, and they're using like a tram, stuff that they use on Coco Cake to bring it to the port. So the guy's like, okay, I'll take you. And I kid you not, as I got onto the ship and I got on, they closed the door, and I'm like, oh my god, I was this close to missing the ship. So I'd have to find my way back to Miami, book a flight from Nassau or something. But guys, it's crazy. They're not waiting on you, they're on time. So ensure when you're going to the terminal, when you're at port, anything you're doing, ensure that you're on time. Because if you're not, they're going to leave you behind. There's somebody else that came on board the same time as me, and she was like, oh my god, I was with family as well, almost missed the ship. But the sad thing about it is that when I got on board, the food that I was eating, I couldn't take it, so I had to like throw it away, which I really felt bad, because if I had known, I wouldn't force myself to get food. I'd just wait until I got back to the ship. But it happens, you live, you learn, and you know about these things. So if you're going to do any excursion, ensure that you get back at least 1 hour before. So they tell you to get back by 5:30, ensure you're at least back on the ship by 4:30, because I'm not making that mistake again. At least I told myself that I was going to get back at 5:30, 4:30, but I got carried away and stuff, and it didn't work out. So I'm just like, you know, I'm not gonna let that happen to me, because I'd have to find extra money to book flights and all of these things, which would have been a totally different story. Okay, so I know a lot of persons might be interested, to know how much the cruise costs, how much you paid, and whatever. So as I mentioned, I was supposed to go on the cruise in April, and I was going, myself and somebody else was going to go. However, that didn't work out, and so I went by myself. So at first we paid for the cruise, and I think the total for 2 persons for the weekend cruise came up to 600 and something. So it was paid off in full. However, we decided to cancel, and then they got a refund, and so some of the money was left as future cruise credits. So I got my future cruise credits, and the other person got theirs. However, even though they were not interested in coming again based on the timing and everything, it couldn't work. I couldn't use their cruise credits, so I had to just use mine. So the total for my cruise from the Monday to the Friday was $336.10, and I got a total of $171 in future cruise credit, which took away from the amount that I had to pay overall. So yeah, I just paid the difference. As I said, I couldn't use the other person's future cruise credit, even though they weren't interested in going again because of the timing and stuff. So I had to just pay the difference that was left off mine. Something else that I should mention: initially when we were doing the cruise, we did it independently, because you just go online, you book your cruise, and you pay, but this time when I was doing it solo, I was like, okay, I'm not in America. It would have been difficult to navigate certain stuff, and so I went onto Royal Caribbean's website. I searched for a travel agent that was close by to where I was staying, because I thought, in the event I might need to go there, in the event I might need to meet up with this person, it might be a little bit convenient to get somebody close to where I was staying while I was traveling. So I got someone in Florida, so I searched based on the zip code and stuff, and I found somebody, Travelers something another is the name of the agent. So he helped me to do over my cruise, and then I also got $100 onboard credits. So that was really nice, because initially when we did it by ourselves, there was no onboard credits. So if you can use an agent, if you find that they'll get a cheaper rate and you might get some onboard credit, definitely do that. But it should be noted though, the cost of the cruise is just included for food, basic food, because they have specialty dining on board, which you have to pay extra for. They have a drink package, which you have to pay different money for. They have a internet package, which you have to pay for. So you have to take all those things into consideration. So the money for the cruise was just for transportation to the different ports, and basic food from the main dining, Windjam, or wherever you decide to eat. I did not do any specialty dining, neither did I do a drink package. I decided that I would, if I wanted drink, I would pay as I go along, which eventually I didn't have any drink at all, except for a coffee, because you get regular juice on board. And I was like, okay, when I get into Bahamas, that's when I'm going to drink. I wanted the Bahama Mama, I wanted, to try different stuff. So the last night before my cruise, I had so much onboard credit left, because also you need to take into consideration is that every day you have to pay $14.50. Well, it depends. If you're in a suite or I think a balcony, you pay $17.50, and that's to take care of persons the persons who take care of your room and stuff like that. So you have to pay that fee every day. So from my $100 onboard credit, those $14.50 each day came out, and the amount that was left, I decided to use it to get a few stuff, and the word is not coming to mind, but I got this. I also got a Royal Caribbean bag. So initially at the back of my mind I had these wonderful ideas. Okay, on the first day of the cruise I'm going to get a drink and I'm going to take a picture in the sunset. And guess what? It rained on the first day, so that idea just scrap. I'm like, okay, next day I'm going to do it, and it just never worked out. So I end up never getting any drinks or anything on board. So I had a lot of cruise credit left, so I decided to use it to get souvenirs and stuff. You can use your cruise credit to do whatever you want to do. So if you want a drink, when I say a drink, I mean like alcoholic beverages and stuff, you can do that if you don't have a drink package. I also took on board wine, water, and apple juice. I didn't know you get apple juice on board, so I wouldn't have taken it, but I took apple juice and water, so I didn't have to like pay extra for those, and I could, like, you know, get it cheaper at Walmart or wherever. So those are some of the stuff that you have to take into consideration when you're going cruising. If you want to bring your own stuff on board, if you want to just pay for the drink package. You're on vacation. Like my cruise, it was just it wasn't well thought out. It was hurried and stuff. I never planned for it long in advance, so I decided to do it on a budget, and so I had to just make it work. But if you're watching this video and you want to go on a cruise, you can book long in advance, a year I think the most, so you can always pay for all the stuff that you need. The only thing I paid for was like the internet package, and as I mentioned, I went solo and I needed to keep in touch with my family and friends to, you know, they know that I'm okay and stuff like that. So I paid for the internet, which I got for $79 something for the period that I was on board, and it was only one device that I paid for, so I had to be switching between the different devices, which was hard. So it's a lot to take into consideration, but you'll make it work. You can do it on a budget. I did it on a budget. I did not break the bank. I stick to what I used my onboard credit, and I paid for my cruise, and I was okay. There's a lot of food on board. If you don't have money to pay for specialty dining, you don't have to pay for drink package. You bring your wine that you can get for $5 or $5.48 in Walmart, and you'll be fine. You put a little wine in and drink like a juice. Nobody can talk to you. Yeah, alcoholic beverage that. So do it on a budget. Okay. So I think I'm just going to wrap up the video. I know there's a lot more to be said. There's a lot more. If you guys have any more questions that you'd want me to answer about my cruise, you can ask me where I got my stuff. You know, like my personal stuff I took on board, the cruise tags and whatever. I got some from Walmart. Well, I think I ordered those on Amazon. Like my travel items I got in Walmart. So if you have any more questions, feel free to message me, feel free to reach out. I'll definitely answer. Leave the comments in the below, ask your question and I'll answer. So thank you so much for watching this video. If you're not already subscribed to my channel, please do give this video a thumbs up. It helps the channel. Share with a friend that you think might need this information, and let me know how your cruise go. So until next time, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Peace.